don't even remember what I read this month. That took way too long. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren if you're new here, and today I'm going to be doing a January reading wrap up. So I'm going to be showing you and talking about all the books that I read in January. Now it's not a lot. I think I only read about 8 books this month, but I got like a late start because I didn't read much in the beginning of the year. So just to preface, I only read 3 physical copies of books, like 3 paperbacks, because if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I've been in my Kindle era and I can't put this Kindle down. Like all the other books, so all the other 5 books I read were on Kindle, and I'm pretty sure they were Kindle Unlimited, so you're welcome. But yeah, I've just been obsessed with my Kindle and I'm like a reading machine on there, and I don't know if that's gonna end anytime soon. Like I can't see myself picking up like a physical book and like sitting there and like turning the pages, but I'm sure that'll end and I'm sure I'll pick up a book and read it. But for now, my dog has not stopped barking. But anyway, let's get started. But the first book that I picked up was If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nolan, and I really loved this book. I think I rated it, I rated it 5 stars. I was gonna say 4 stars because it was really sad, and I like feel icky rating sad books 5 stars, but I guess I did. And like the reason I feel icky about it is, I don't know, why should I be like enjoying someone's pain? But that's me. I don't know, maybe I think too much into it, but I loved this book. It was really sad and heartbreaking and heartwarming at the same time. It's about childhood friends, and it's kind of, I feel like as I was reading this, I was really bored in the beginning, and I know that some of you feel like that as well. So just know, I'm pretty sure this is YA, so it is kind of childish, but it's really boring in the beginning. I feel like I was just turning pages and waiting for it to kind of pick up. There wasn't really anything big happening in the beginning of this book, but again, like if you've heard about this book, you know that it's a sad one and it's gonna break you. So just keep reading, and I'm sure that you're going to get to that part where you're like, wow, I really love this book, like this is such a good read. Okay, let me talk about the main characters. There's Autumn and Finney. Now I loved Finney. You can't not like him. There's no possible way that you're going to like him, not like him. But as I felt with Autumn in the beginning, there was a lot of character development that went on with her, and I felt like I almost didn't want to like her, but you're going to end up liking her, you know what I mean? Like you kind of grow with her as the book goes on, which I really enjoyed, because I love when I don't love a female character in the beginning and then she really like quickly like puts me in my place and I end up really enjoying her character. I thought I was stronger than everyone else and I wasn't going to be sad and break from this book, but you are. Like this book gets the best of us. I really think so. Okay, moving on. This was like a good month of reads, honestly, if you want me to be honest. Because next I picked up Daisy Jones and the Six, and I love this book. I like don't know which book was my favorite out of this month, but she's like a top contestant. I devoured this book in a matter of 12 hours. There is just so much that goes on, and the way it's written, I'm sure you've heard about this book, but the way it's written, it's like no other. So I think that's what really enticed me, and I want to read this book 10 million times over and over again for the first time. I read this while also listening to like the audio version, and that completely changed the game. Like it made the experience of reading it like an actual experience. Like I felt like I was in the time period with them, and like I knew them, and almost it allowed me to connect with them on like a personal level. And I think that's the main reason why I fell in love with the characters and the book. I love when like books feel normal and real, and like it was based on a true story, but it wasn't. So just know that going into it, like it's so good. I love it. But I know that this is coming out as a series, I think in March, and I want to like host you all at my house and we can have a watch party. That's how excited I am. In one of my videos, someone commented that I spoiled the book, but like, so now every time I describe a book, I'm like self-conscious. But I feel like I'm not saying anything other than what's on the back of the book. So no spoilers. I don't think I'm spoiling. If I am, I'm not. I'm sorry. Moving on. Next was a Kindle book. It was The Infinity Between Us by N.S. Perkins. And I rated that 4 stars, I'm pretty sure. And I feel like I talk about this book a lot because I really did enjoy it. It's like a second chance, childhood friends to lovers. It's almost very much The Summer I Turned Pretty. It like is The Summer I Turned Pretty, where they rent a house in the summer and 2 families come together and they spend the summers together. This book was really great. It's just a typical romance novel, but it was a quick read, fast-paced, and I feel like I really just enjoyed it. Again, I loved the main character so much, the male main character. The female main character, personally to me, was just blah. She was just there. It was very realistic. Like, everything was justifiable, the way that things happened and the events that take place. And if you read it, you'll know what I'm talking about. It just like was really like refreshing almost to see how it wasn't, again, too fiction-y. But yeah, I really liked it. And like with me, it's hard to find romance novels that I like that don't feel so dramatic. So I think that this is like a really good medium where it was like there was tea happening, but it also didn't feel too like, come on, that would never happen in real life. Okay. Next, I read The Housemaid by Freida McFadden. Let me tell you, this woman, I love her so much. She's a genius. This book I only gave 3 stars because I wasn't too crazy about it. I just feel like I've read so many thrillers that kind of resemble this one. But I know that this is super popular right now, and if you're not a thriller girly, I think that you should read this to get into it and become a thriller girly. It's really quick. It's kind of almost a little boring at some points, but I think that it's like, it'll keep you really intrigued, is what I'm trying to say. It's about a woman who needs a job and she becomes a maid for this crazy psycho family, and she really needs to keep this job. So that's kind of why like you'll like kind of be intrigued, because she's willing to put up with anything that she really is throwing at her. But the ending is phenomenal. Keep reading for the ending. Obviously, like any book, anytime you read a book, you keep reading for the ending. It's so good. But yeah, so like I said, 3 stars. If you're looking to get into thrillers, pick this one up. I'm sure everyone around you is reading it. But yeah, honestly, tell me if you're like me. When I read a Kindle book, I have this like little voice in the back of my head, and it's like telling me to buy the physical copy and just waste my money. So if you see my bookshelves overflow, just know that I'm buying the books that I read on my Kindle for absolutely no reason. Let me know if you're like me, because I just love to look at books. The next one was a romance novel. I guess that I like was following a little trend within this video, or within this month, but I read All the Little Things by Leigh, and I gave that 4 stars. I really like this book. It's about her brother's best friend, and they've all been like a little trio their whole life, and he's a bad boy. Like, he doesn't follow the rules, and she like is obsessed with that kind of, and he kind of like pays her no mind because she's his best friend's sister, and she's younger than him, you know, like he looks at her as like a little sister. But then something happens and he's forced to leave, I guess, their town, and he comes back and everything changes. She's older and grown, and it's just like really good. And there are things that happen in this book that you won't see coming. At least I didn't see coming. Like, I'm not gonna say little things that'll give it away, but there's a lot of tea in this book, which I loved. Like I said in my other videos, like this book almost felt like a soap opera. Like there was a lot going on. I don't know why. I just really enjoyed like the dramatics of it. And I know that I said while I was talking about The Infinity Between Us, like I hate things that are too fictional. Like, this wasn't too fictional, but it was so dramatic that it was kind of like almost comical. This is another book that I finished in like 12 hours. Just know, I'm gonna do like a little disclaimer of how I feel about Brother's Best Friend. Sometimes it gets creepy. I think that there's like a fine line between it being like, oh, my brother is protective over me, versus like my brother's like in love with me. That's just how I feel about it. Like, you guys could like it, but sometimes I just feel like it gets creepy. So just know that while reading these, sometimes it could be a little like, yeah, that's how I felt. But overall, it was a really great dramatic read. Next, another brother's best friend. I don't know what was good with me, but I finished one and I opened another one right up. It was Say You Swear by Brandy. By Meagan Brandy. I think I gave this 4 stars. I did. So it's another brother's best friend group vibe type of thing. Like, they've all been friends since they were little. She's in love with one of the friends, but you know, like, can't date you, you're my best friend's sister. Anyway, so they're all going to college and she ends up meeting another man, and let me just tell you, I love that man that she meets. But essentially it's like a love triangle type of vibe. That's really all I'm gonna say about it, and I'll explain to you why I gave this 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I know that everyone and their mother loves this book. Like, I'm seeing it all over Instagram, and don't get me wrong, like, I was obsessed with it. I was obsessed with the main character like you all were, but I just felt that it was so bleh. Like, that's how I felt. It was so almost unnecessarily long to me, and it just like dragged on. And I was reading it and I was like, when is this gonna pick up? Like, when is it gonna happen? And I think I was at like the 55th percent mark, and I was like, okay, finally things are happening. Like, oh my god, like, this book is so good. And then it like hit the 70% mark, and I'm like, bruh, I was like, what am I reading? Like, can you, like, there's simple solutions to these problems. Like, just fix it and move on. I think I was in the mood to read fast-paced books, so when I read this book, I was kind of like, where's the ending? When is it coming? I really did like it, and it would have got 5 stars if I was in that mood. But yeah, so if you read that, let me know if you felt the way you did, like I did. Next, I read another book by my girl Freida McFadden, my queen. That was Never Lie. Guys, if you love scary thrillers, twisty thrillers, can you please read this book? Like, I will never stop talking about this book. This is a phenomenal thriller. Everything about it was just done right. Like, her mind, I wish I could be inside of it, because I was locked into this book. Like, I was like, keep those pages going. Like, I did not stop. Anyway, I gave it 5 stars, obviously. But, okay, yeah, this is how it was. So they're like newlyweds, and they are touring houses, and they get stuck in this therapist's house, and this therapist went missing, and she like was proclaimed dead. Yeah, so as they're like, so they get stuck in this house because it's snowing and they have nowhere to go, like they can't leave, and this house is kind of secluded in the middle of nowhere. So they're stuck in this therapist's house. The wife of the couple, she stumbles upon like a secret room, and I guess the therapist, while she was kind of like meeting with her patients, she would record them, and in this secret room she had all the recordings. Trisha, wife of the newlyweds, she finds this room and she starts listening to these tapes. Also past present, so it focuses on the therapist in the past, and then also the couple that's in the house right now. And oh my god, like, this ending was so unbelievable. Like, I don't think there are enough words in the dictionary to describe how I feel about this book. Okay, I think we're on the last book. The last book I gotta talk about. I love this book. I do love this book. But this is another one, guys, where I was like, why you gotta be so damn long? But anyway, the book that I'm going to be talking about is Consider Me. This is another book that everyone and their mother is reading right now, and I'm glad that I'm part of that generalization, because this is a good book. Oh, I didn't say. I gave it 4 stars, and it was previously on Wattpad, so, you know, be cautious about that, because some of you will think it's cringy, like, because it is in the beginning, because it's your typical romance, you know, like, it's almost insta-love, but also not. So it's a hockey romance. I'm absolutely absolutely obsessed with the main character in this book. I don't know, I found him cringy, but I also found him like charming. Like I feel like I couldn't kind of like not like him. One of my biggest pet peeves in books is when the female main character is short and they always talk about her height. Like what? Like you can tell that this is a Wattpad book because they're constantly referring to her height. Like let me preface this. I'm 5'3", and I don't think I'm that short. Like I'm 5'3" and my boyfriend is 6'4", and like he doesn't like say short jokes. Like no one in my life says short jokes. Like the girl in this book is like 5'2", and they're like, you're so small. Stop. I don't care that she's short. Like you're not cute because you're short. I don't know, it was like very pick me vibes, and I hate that. It's my biggest pet peeve. So it's weird to me, but I don't understand it. Anyway, I really liked it. It's supposed to be enemies to lovers, and again, like if you know me, I despise enemies to lovers, but this didn't feel like it. Like if you're gonna do enemies to lovers, like do it right. Like if they just met, you're not enemies. Like you just don't want to give into the tension that is like that's between you guys, you know what I mean? I wish that there was more of like a build up to them getting together. I'm definitely reading the rest of the series though, because I love hockey romance. So just know it's a little cringy going into it, but that fades and you'll really like the main characters. The other characters are good too, but I don't know, I loved Carter. So I'm definitely gonna aim for February to read more books. So if you have any recommendations based off of my taste that you see from this video, let me know. If you think I did a horrible job describing books, be nice in the comments because I am very fragile. Yeah, if you don't already follow me on Instagram, you can. It's at Lauren's Reading Corner, and then my personal Instagram is just my name, Lauren Gambale. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all had a fantastic January, and I'm wishing you a great February as well. So yeah, subscribe. Bye.